Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're turning our attention to the most recognized name in all of watchmaking, Rolex. Few brands in any industry, let alone horology, have achieved the cultural weight, the investment cachet, and the sheer universal desirability that Rolex commands in 2024. These are watches that transcend the watch world entirely, worn by heads of state, explorers, athletes, and dreamers. And yet each one is a precision instrument engineered to a standard that would make dedicated tool watch manufacturers envious. From the purist diver that needs no introduction to the white gold grail that sits at the very top of the Rolex sporting catalog, we are counting down 5 of the most essential Rolex references every enthusiast needs to know. Whether you're chasing your first green box or your 10th, this one is for you. Let's get into it. Number 5. Rolex Submariner 124060, no date. The Rolex Submariner 124060, no date, is the purist's Submariner, stripped of the date complication and its magnifying cyclops lens, leaving behind a dial of such perfect, uninterrupted symmetry that many collectors consider it the definitive expression of what a dive watch should look like. Rolex introduced the Submariner in 1953, and in the 7 decades since, it has become the single most influential sports watch ever made, the template against which virtually every dive watch that followed has been measured. The 124060 is the latest evolution of that lineage, and it represents the most refined version of the no-date sub yet. The 41mm oyster steel case, crafted from Rolex's proprietary 904L stainless steel, polished to a brilliance that ordinary steel simply cannot match, houses the in-house caliber 32-30 movement, featuring Rolex's own Chronergy escapement for exceptional energy efficiency and a 70-hour power reserve. The unidirectional rotatable bezel with its Cerachrom insert in matte black ceramic is virtually impervious to scratching and UV fading, and the maxi dial, with its bold luminous hour markers and Mercedes hands reads with absolute clarity at depth or across a boardroom table. Number 4. Rolex Sea Dweller 126600. The Rolex Sea Dweller 126600 is what happens when you take the already legendary Submariner and engineer it to face conditions that would destroy virtually any other watch on the planet. Born from Rolex's long collaboration with professional saturation divers in the 1960s, men who lived in pressurized underwater habitats for weeks at a time, the Sea Dweller was designed to solve a problem the Submariner could not. The pressure differential created by helium molecules penetrating the case during saturation dives and threatening to blow the crystal off on ascent. The solution was the helium escape valve, a Rolex patented feature that allows helium to safely exit the case during decompression, and its presence on the Sea Dweller's case at 9 o'clock remains one of the most distinctive and proudly functional design details in all of watchmaking. The 126600 is the 50th anniversary edition of the Sea Dweller, and it marks a milestone moment in the model's history, the return of the iconic Sea Dweller text in red on the dial, the first time that legendary red text had appeared since 1977, sending collector pulses racing when it was unveiled. Number 3. Rolex Sky Dweller 326938. The Rolex Sky Dweller 326938 is the most technically sophisticated watch in the entire Rolex catalog, and the fact that it exists within a brand built on clarity and legibility makes it all the more remarkable. Launched in 2012, the Sky Dweller was Rolex's first entirely new watch complication in decades, and it introduced 2 significant mechanical achievements simultaneously: an annual calendar that requires just 1 manual correction per year at the end of February, and a dual time zone display that shows a second time zone via an off-center 24-hour disc at 6 o'clock, allowing the wearer to track home time and local time simultaneously. What makes the Sky Dweller's implementation of these complications uniquely Rolex is the Saros annual calendar mechanism, a patented system of extraordinary elegance, and above all, the ring command bezel, a Rolex patent that allows the wearer to switch between setting the time, the second time zone, and the date using a simple rotation of the outer bezel, transforming what could be a confusing multi-crown operation into something almost intuitive. The 326938 presents all of this mechanical sophistication in an 18-karat yellow gold case of 42 millimeters, a substantial, commanding presence that wears with the authority befitting its position as the crown jewel of Rolex's professional lineup. Number 2. Rolex Day Date 40 Platinum 228396T BR. The Rolex Day-Date in Platinum is, without question, the most prestigious wristwatch Rolex produces. The timepiece that has graced the wrists of more world leaders, presidents, and persons of historic influence than any other watch in existence, earning its informal title as the President's Watch and lending its name to the iconic President bracelet that defines its look. The Day-Date was introduced in 1956 as the first wristwatch to display both the full date and the full day of the week, spelled out completely, and it was offered from the very beginning exclusively in precious metals, gold and platinum only, never steel. That exclusivity has never wavered. The Day-Date 40 Platinum 228396TBR represents the ultimate expression of this legacy. A 950 platinum case of 40mm adorned with a bezel set with baguette-cut diamonds of breathtaking precision, wrapped around a dial of extraordinary beauty. Rolex's dial artistry reaches its apex in the Day-Date range, with options including gem-set dials, meteorite dials, onyx, malachite, and handcrafted lacquer finishes that make each example genuinely unique. Number 1. Rolex Daytona White Gold 116519 LN. The Rolex Cosmograph. Daytona in white gold with an onyx dial, the 116519 LN, takes the top position on today's list because it is, in the eyes of an enormous number of collectors, the single most desirable Rolex ever produced in a current production reference. The Daytona's story is inseparable from the history of motorsport and from one of the most famous names in Hollywood, Paul Newman, whose personal Daytona sold at Phillips auction in 2017 for $17.75 million, the highest price ever achieved at auction for a wristwatch at that time. That auction crystallized what enthusiasts had known for decades. The Daytona is not merely a watch. It is a cultural artifact. The 116519 LN is the white gold Daytona at its most dramatic. A 40mm case in 18-karat white gold with a stunning black onyx dial that absorbs light rather than reflecting it, creating a depth and seriousness that the stainless steel versions, magnificent as they are, simply cannot replicate.